Saul is chosen as king. Welcome to another video where we will explore the surprising journey of Saul, the man chosen by God to be the first king of Israel. Just imagine a young man, seemingly ordinary and from one of the smallest tribes, finds himself involved in events that would change the course of history. Today, we will discover how a simple search for lost donkeys turned into a decisive encounter with the prophet Samuel, and how, at that moment, God revealed that true power and leadership are not in appearances or physical strength, but in faith and the ability to listen to the divine call. In this story, we will see how the challenges and insecurities of everyday life can turn into great opportunities when we trust in God's plans. Saul's story invites us to reflect on the importance of accepting our destiny and allowing a greater force to transform us, showing that every little detail of our lives can be part of a grand purpose. If you feel inspired by this story and want to follow more content that combines history, faith, and life lessons, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell to receive all updates. Let's go on this journey together. In the days when Samuel was the prophet of Israel, the people cried out for a king who could lead them like the other nations. Although God was their true king, the Israelites wanted a human leader who would be visible, strong, and able to command armies. This desire, however, did not arise merely from a political need, but also from insecurity and a lack of trust in divine guidance. The longing for a king was a reflection of a people who, though they feared God, wanted something tangible, something that would make them feel concretely protected. This situation mirrors times when we seek security in material things or in people, forgetting that true strength lies in divine providence. Often, we become impatient, wanting immediate answers and quick solutions, not realizing that God already has a plan for our future. The people of Israel were repeating an old pattern of not fully trusting in the Lord, just as they had done many times in the desert. Among the sons of Israel, there was a man named Saul, from the tribe of Benjamin. He was tall and handsome in such a way that he stood out among the others. His appearance commanded respect and was exactly the type of leader the people desired. But what Saul did not know was that his story was about to change drastically. One day, his father Kish's donkeys went missing, and he was sent with a servant to search for them. This journey, which seemed like just a trivial search for lost animals, was in fact a path prepared by God for a much greater purpose. How many times have we found ourselves in the same situation? Small everyday tasks, seemingly casual encounters, or routine events may be leading us to a destiny we could never have imagined. God has surprising ways of guiding us to the places and missions He desires for us, even when we don't realize it. If you are enjoying this journey, be sure to leave a like, share the video, and comment on what has touched you so far. During his search, Saul traveled through many regions without success. When he was about to give up and return home, fearing that his father would worry more about him than the donkeys, his servant suggested they consult a man of God who lived in a nearby town. This man was Samuel, the prophet and judge of Israel. Upon hearing about Samuel, they recognized that he might give them clear direction. This moment demonstrates the importance of seeking guidance from those who are in communion with God, as we often cannot see what He is preparing for us, but there are people in our journey who can direct us to the right purpose. How often, in our difficulties, do we ignore the advice of those with a broader spiritual perspective? Just like Saul, we need to learn to listen to those placed in our lives to guide us. Even before Saul arrived in the city, God had already spoken to Samuel, revealing that a young man would come and that he should be anointed as the first king of Israel. When Samuel saw Saul, God confirmed that this was the chosen man. When Saul and his servant approached to ask about the lost donkeys, Samuel quickly reassured him, saying the donkeys had already been found. However, he added something surprising. Saul's true quest was not for donkeys, but for the future of Israel. Samuel took Saul to a banquet and gave him a place of honor, something that left him perplexed. Saul, from one of the smallest tribes of Israel and from a family without much distinction, did not see himself as someone worthy of such responsibility. This is a common reality. How many times does God call us to something greater, but our own insecurity prevents us from seeing our true potential? We may have talent, intelligence, and opportunities before us, but if we don't believe in the purpose God has placed in our lives, we risk wasting the great opportunities He gives us. The next morning, Samuel led Saul to a private moment where he poured oil on his head, anointing him as king. This gesture symbolized being set apart for a divine calling and empowered by the Spirit of God. Samuel also revealed signs that would confirm his appointment, showing that God was in control of everything. When Saul left, all the signs occurred exactly as Samuel had predicted, and the Spirit of the Lord came upon him, transforming him into a new man. This transformation reminds us that when God calls us, He also equips us. Often, we feel small in the face of challenges, but it is God who shapes us for the mission. Saul's transformation was not only external but internal, as he received a new vision of himself and the purpose of his life. This interchange is crucial for anyone who desires to fulfill a greater calling. If we don't allow ourselves to be transformed by God, we will continue carrying insecurities and limitations that prevent us from living fully the purpose He has for us. When the time came to present the new king to the people, Samuel gathered the tribes of Israel and made a selection, publicly confirming the divine choice. When it was time for Saul to be announced, he could not be found, as he was hiding among the baggage. This detail reveals his reluctance and fear of the new position. How often do we also try to hide from the responsibilities that God places before us? However, there is no hiding place where God cannot find us. Saul was brought forward, and upon seeing his stature and imposing presence, the Israelites rejoiced and hailed him as king. However, being acclaimed by the people did not mean he was ready to lead. True royalty is not built on appearance or popular approval, but on character, courage, and submission to God's will. A leader's greatest challenge is not to be accepted by the people, but to be faithful to the purpose for which they were called. Despite his impressive appearance and the people's acclaim, Saul still needed to prove his leadership. When a crisis arose and the Ammonites threatened Israel, the Spirit of God came upon him with power, and he led the people with courage, defeating the enemies. This first challenge solidified his position as king. This teaches us that a true leader is not one who merely receives a title, but one who acts with determination and courage to fulfill their mission. Being chosen is only the beginning, but the journey is marked by the decisions we make along the way. Leadership, like faith, is demonstrated through actions. Only when we face adversity do we discover what we are truly made of. The story of Saul's selection as king of Israel is a powerful reminder that God has a purpose for each of us, even when we don't feel prepared or worthy. He uses everyday circumstances to lead us to our destiny, and when the right moment comes, He equips and transforms us. Just as Saul had to overcome his fears and uncertainties, we too are challenged to trust in the divine call and act with faith. God's plan will always come to fruition, regardless of our insecurities, and it is up to us to accept this call with courage and confidence. If God has chosen us for something, we can be sure He will give us everything we need to fulfill that call. And so, we reach the end of this incredible journey through the story of Saul's selection as king, a narrative that reminds us that, even when we feel small and insecure, God calls us to great purposes and transforms us from the inside out. Reflecting on how small tasks and seemingly ordinary encounters can lead to extraordinary changes invites us to trust and embrace the destiny the Lord has planned for each of us. If this story touched your heart and sparked reflections on faith, courage, and leadership, leave a comment telling us what inspired you the most. Share this video with your friends and family so more people can be inspired by this message of transformation and hope. And of course, don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel, and click the bell to receive all updates. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.